Hi everyone, in this video I'll be going through Sec 2 G3 Math, the test for 2023, so make sure you have completed the paper before watching this video. Let's get started. Okay, question 1, make x the subject of the formula. So very simply, make subject means I want x. All terms containing x, you must make it to the left side first, then after that I make x equals to something. Okay, how do I do that? Let's first get rid of the fraction by cross multiplying. Okay, so over here, I'll get y times x squared minus 3 equals to 2x squared plus z. Okay, therefore by expansion, I'll get x squared y minus 3y equals to 2x squared plus z. Okay, continue from here. To make x the subject, I shift all terms with x to the left side, all terms without x to the right side. So this will become x squared y minus 2x squared equals to z plus 3y. Okay, therefore from here, I take out the x. To make x, I factorize out x squared from both terms. X squared times y minus 2 equals to z plus 3y. Therefore, this means that x squared is equal to z plus 3y divided by y minus 2. Okay, therefore, to find out what is x, therefore, to carry out the square, I will square root both sides. I will get x equals to plus minus, remember to square root unknown, there should always be a plus minus of z plus 3y over y minus 2. Okay, and this is for question number 1. Alright, let's now look at question number 2. Question number 2 here. Okay, a logistic van, a company has a distribution center that can deliver 1,500 items in a day with 5 vans. So, in Christmas, there are 10,000 items. Calculate the minimum number of days required to deliver all items if they use one more delivery van to support the current 5 vans. So that means that now, with one more van, I have a total of 6 vans. So let's find out. Okay, 6 vans. If at first I have 5 vans, I can deliver 1,500 items. This means that if I have one van, how many items can I deliver? Logically, if I have less vans, I should have less items because they are in direct proportion. Therefore, if I have only one van, I'll divide both sides by 5. Okay, I'll get only 300 items. So if now I have 6 vans, okay, 6 vans, this means that now I can deliver even more items. By multiplying items by 6, I should get 1,800 items. Okay, therefore, how do I find number of days required? Therefore, number of days required is simply, since I got 6 vans, okay, each van can deliver 1,800 items in one day. Okay, so over here, I have 10,000 items. I divide by 1,800 items. I will get 5.6. So therefore, minimum number of days are minimum. I cannot have just 5 days because I need 5.6 days. So therefore, minimum number of days will be 6 days. Okay, and therefore that's the answer to question number 2. Alright, let's now look at question number 3. A variable is inversely related to the square of a variable x. Highlight important information. Y is inversely related to the square of a variable x, which means that y is equal to k over x squared. When x is increased by 100%, okay, so if I increase something at 100%, now my x becomes, new x becomes 2 times of the original x. Okay, so therefore, over here, I know that we can write OY is equal to k over x squared. New y, with the x increase, it will become k over 2x, the whole thing squared. Okay, which is equal to k over 4x squared. Okay, so therefore now, how do I find percentage decrease? We can start by finding percentage change first. We know the formula, percentage change is always equal to new minus O, okay, over the original one first, times 100%. Okay, so over here, the percentage change, the new, is k over 4x squared minus away the O, which is just k over x squared. Okay, then over here, The O is k over x squared times 100%. Okay, then we can simply factorize out from the numerator here, k over x squared from both terms. Okay, first term factorize out k over x squared, I'm left with 1 over 4. Second term, I'm left with minus 1. Okay, over the original, which is k over x squared times 100%. Okay, then you notice, right, these two can cancel out. 1 minus 1 over 4, 1 over 4 minus 1, I'll get, okay, right, I read this step by step. 1 over 4 minus 1 times 100%. Okay, if you press this in your calculator, let's shift this upwards, we will get negative 75%. Okay, so this is the percentage change. Therefore, to percentage decrease, since I already specified percentage decrease, since the change is negative 75%, which means that the percentage change is 75%, because the negative is accounted in the word decrease. Okay, so answer to this question, question number 3, it will be 75%. Alright. Okay, let's now look at question number 4. Okay, shows a map from YTSS to Yishun Park. The estimate of the scale of the map is 1.6 cm to 200 meters. Okay, so over here, find the scale in the form of 1 is to n. I know that 1.6 cm is to 200 meter. Okay, 200 meter, oops. Okay, therefore I convert meter, make them the same units first. 1.6 cm is to meter to cm times 100. This will become 20,000 cm. Okay, so therefore, to find 1 cm, I divide both sides by 1.6. Okay, this will be 1 cm is to 12500 cm. So therefore, by ratio form, without units, 1 is to 1, 12,500. This is for question 4, part 1. Okay, let's look at question 4, part 2 now. Therefore, find the actual distance if the map distance is 7.2 cm. So therefore, very simply over here, actual distance is equal to, based on my scaling, okay, I know that over here, yeah, maybe let's write all the maps here so it's easier to visualize. Based on this map here, 1 cm is to, instead of 12,500 cm, I can turn this into 125 meters. Okay, so over here, actual distance, if it is 7.2 cm, this just means 7.2 cm times 125 meters. Answer will be simply 900 meters. Okay, and this is the question, which requires you to give your answer in meters. Let's now look at part 3. Okay, it is given that the total area of Yishun Park is 3.2 hectares. Find in square meter the area of the park on the map. So 3.2 hectares, the question here tell you hectare means 10,000 meters square. So we can simply rewrite this. 3.2 hectares is simply 3.2 times 10,000 meters square. This is simply equals to 32,000 meters square. Okay, so over here, I know that based on since the question gives me an area in meters square, I must first find the area scale first. So based on my length scale here, I highlight this in blue. My length scale is 1 cm is to 125 meters. Convert this to area scale. Okay, area scale, I square the length scale here. 1 cm square is to square 125. This will become, let me calculate, 125 square will be, okay, let me shift this, shift this over here. Okay, 125 square is 15625 meter square. Okay, therefore, area on the map is simply, the actual area is 32,000 meters square. Area scale is 1 cm square is to 15,625. So I divide by 15,625. I will get 2.05 cm squared. Okay, and that's your answer to part 3. Let's now move on to question number 5. Okay, question number 5 over here. Okay, state the angle AQP. Okay, so very simply, I hope that you can see that since triangle ABC is similar to triangle APQ, okay, so if ACB here is a right angle, this means that ACB will match with AQP. Therefore, this is also a right angle. Okay, so state very simply, just say that this is 90 degree. Okay, then the next part. Explain why Q is the midpoint of AC. So over here, you have to make use of the similar triangle concept. Okay, the questions here say that P is the midpoint of AB. So if P is the midpoint of AB, if I look at it in terms of ratio, if this AP here is 1 unit, okay, BP here is also 1 unit in terms of the ratio of the sides, which means that the length of AB here in terms of units will be 2 units. Okay, because P is the midpoint of the side AB, which means that these two lengths here are equal, correct? Okay, so now if I were to form, based on the triangles here, right, I can see that, okay, if they are similar triangles, I can form the ratio, which means that based on this triangle vertices, we can see that I go by the big triangle first. AB over AB over AP over AP is equal to, next one is AC over AQ. Big triangle AC over AQ is equal to, last one, BC over PQ. Big triangle BC over PQ. Okay, and I know that since P is a midpoint of this side over here, okay, AP is 1 unit while AB is 2 units. So this means that this ratio here is half is equal to AC over AQ is equal to BC over PQ. Okay, so therefore, based on this equation here, I can say very clearly, from this ratio over here, I know that AC is 1 unit while AQ is also 2 units. Looking at the diagram here, AC here, okay, AC here, the big triangle, sorry, should be, I label wrongly, AB should be 2 units, this one should be 1 unit. Yeah, 2 units and 1 unit. Okay, so over here, this means that the big triangle here, AB over AP is 2:1. And same thing, that's the same for the ratio of here is to AQ, 2:1. Okay, so therefore, from this ratio here, I highlight in blue, this ratio here, we can say that, therefore, if I were to simplify further, okay, we simplify this equation further, I will get cross multiplier 2 times AQ is equal to 1 times AC. So this means that 2AQ is equal to AC. AQ, I divide both sides by 2. AQ is equal to half of AC. So I look at the diagram again. The length of AQ is half the length of AC. Therefore, this very clearly tells me that, therefore, Q is the midpoint of AC. Okay, so in order to answer this question, you need to be very, very mathematical in terms of how you use the properties of similar triangles to show very clearly the ratio of the sides, the length. AQ is half of AC, therefore Q is the midpoint of AC. Okay, you must show true mathematical facts. You cannot just write based on what you assume. Okay, so this will be the solution to part 2. Okay, and now let's look at the last question here, question number 6. Okay, diagram shows a right triangle ABC whereby D is the point of AC such that BDC is a right angle triangle. Okay, so I know that in a right angle triangle, it will fulfill Pythagoras theorem. Let's label the sides based on the question. Here is 3x minus 4. AB here is 4x minus 3. Then BD here is 2x plus 5. Okay, so very simply, I know that by Pythagoras theorem, the sum of the two shorter sides, which is the sum of the square of the two shorter sides, is equal to the square of the longer side, 4x minus 3 squared. Okay, so over here, just simply need to expand. By expansion, I'll get 9x squared 9x squared minus 12, 24x plus 16 plus 4x squared is 20x plus 25, oops, okay, equals to 16x squared minus 24x plus 9. Okay, then over here by simplification, okay, maybe to make it easier, I combine the left side terms first. I will get 13x squared. Okay, I highlight so that you can see very clearly what am I combining with. 9x squared can combine with 4x squared. Okay, next one, blue. Negative 24x can combine with 20x. I'll get minus 4x. Then the last one, I have 16 plus 25. This will give me plus 41 equals to 16x squared minus 24x plus 9. Okay, oops, there should be an x here. Okay, therefore, continue to simplify from here. I will get, maybe I make the right side 0. Okay, so I'll get, I will subtract the left side terms by this. So this will be 13x squared minus 4x plus 41 minus 16x squared plus 24x minus 9 equals to 0. Remember, the signs will flip as you subtract from the other side of the equation. Okay, so therefore, simplify, I'll get negative 3x squared plus 20x plus 32 equals 0. Then we note that the signs are different, so simply multiply a negative 1 on both sides of the equation. Negative 1 times the left side will give me 3x squared minus 20x minus 32 equals to 0. And therefore, I've shown the first part here. Okay. In the last part, therefore, solve this equation. Very simply, to solve quadratic equation, just need to factorize. So over here, by factorization, you can either use your tic-tac-toe method or your cross method, whichever you're comfortable with. Okay, so over here, when I factorize this, I'll get 3x squared and negative 32. Okay, so over here, by factorization, I should get 3x times x, then 4 and negative 8, I'll get 24x and 4x, and they add up to give me negative 20x. Yeah. So over here, this will give me 3x plus 4 times x minus 8 equals to 0. Therefore, 3x plus 4 equals to 0, or x minus 8 equals to 0. 3x equals to negative 4, x equals to negative 4 over 3, or x is equal to 8. Okay, and this is the answer for part 2. Take note here, this question just says solve an equation. When I solve an equation like this, I do not need to reject any answer. Why? Because this question is just saying solve this equation. This equation is not used in this context over here yet. So I don't reject yet. Okay, because this question here just says solve this equation. Only when the question says, therefore find the length of something, then I'll choose the correct x value to use. But in this case over here, because the question just says solve this equation, no need to reject your answers. Okay, so make sure you read the question very carefully, when to reject and when to not reject. So answer for this question is x equals to negative 4 over 3 or 8. And that's the end of this video.